to chill in the summer than with an ice cream sandwich? Listen, I know. If there is, I don't want to know about it, because I love an ice cream sandwich. And yeah, I love going out. Like, you know when you're walking through Toronto or whatever, and there's those places that make those beautiful cookies with that gourmet ice cream? Oh my gosh, fantastic. But I'm not gonna lie, when I want an ice cream sandwich, I kinda want those ones that you get in the freezer section with that fluffy ice cream and those like brownie-like cookies. Oh my gosh. So what I did was go home and figure out how to make those myself. And I thought I'd share it with you today. I'm very excited about it. So to get started on those amazing kind of classic ice cream sandwiches, I wanna make that kind of cookie brownie base situation. So in this bowl here, I have got a half a cup of melted unsalted butter, beat up with about a half a cup of white sugar. I added in an egg as well as a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's gonna give that little bit of desserty flavor. And vanilla, fun fact, is like best friends with chocolate. So it works really well to get that fudgy kind of brownie-like flavor in that cookie. So for the dry ingredients for this mix, I have got half a cup of all-purpose flour, a quarter cup of cocoa powder, so there's a good amount of cocoa in here, as well as a quarter teaspoon of baking powder and a quarter teaspoon of salt. Salt is another thing that chocolate just needs to make it taste more like chocolate. So I am gonna sift this together, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I hate sifting. It's like my least favorite. It's always kind of messy. I don't love it. But anytime I'm using cocoa powder, I always want to sift because you end up with these little clumps. Cocoa powder actually has fat in it, and it tends to clump it up as it's sitting. So you do want to pass it through a sieve to make sure all of those little lumps get kind of, you know, sieved out of there. If I didn't do that, those would never really kind of come into the mixture, and you'd have these little kind of bombs of really bitter chocolate, which we don't want. So I'm gonna give that a little mix together, and then I'm just gonna bring this dry mixture into that wet mixture. So just add that right on in. This does not make a lot of batter, because we're just looking for those thin, little, delicious cookies. So give that a little bit of a mix just to start it together. Don't wear white when you're doing it. That's my hot tip right now. I'm gonna stand really far back and it's gonna be fine. Luckily, we're in the last segment of the show. All right, now when I'm mixing it, I almost kind of like spread it out like I would be with peanut butter on toast. That helps kind of get everything incorporated really simply. And as opposed to this being like a cookie dough or a cookie batter, it's almost more like a brownie batter. It's thick, it's spreadable, kind of almost looks like chocolate buttercream, and that is a very, very good thing. So now, to bake this, you could bake this as one kind of brownie and then slice it in half, but that's gonna be the world's hardest thing to do. So why not just prep 2 pans? So over here, I have got 2 square baking pans that I greased with a little bit of nonstick cooking spray, and then I popped a sling in with some parchment paper. That's just gonna help me lift these out later. What I'm gonna do now is just divide this beautiful batter into here. And then using anything like the back of a spoon, or if you've got an offset spatula, you just want to spread that into a nice thin and even layer. This will feel thinner than you think it should be, but that's going to be absolutely perfect for these amazing little ice cream sandwiches. Now, one of the reasons I like to grease the pan before I put that parchment paper in, sounds a little redundant, but it makes it so this parchment paper doesn't run around as I'm trying to spread this beautiful, delicious batter along the bottom. All right, so again, get it really nice and thin, really nice and fine. And then you wanna pop that into a 350-degree oven just for about 8 to 10 minutes. You're just looking for those cookies to get nice and kind of matte looking. I'm gonna finish this one up later, so I'm gonna leave them there. And while that bakes up, I'm gonna get to work on my ice cream base. Now, if you wanted to, you could do this with that like boxed ice cream that's kind of fluffy tasting almost. You could get it, slice it up, and just lay it on top of those cookies. But I'm gonna show you how to make a really simple no churn ice cream. So into a bowl, the first thing I need is a can of sweetened and condensed milk. Just 1 whole can, dump it right on in. And if you are on the East Coast, you know what sweetened condensed milk is. It is a delicious staple in so many desserts. It is rich, it's creamy, it's super duper sweet. But 1 can is perfect for this delicious no churn ice cream. Now into there, I'm gonna add in about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. If you wanted to, you could do a vanilla bean if you're feeling a little fancy, or with some vanilla bean paste. But we're going classic, we're going old school. I don't wanna see a little flecks of vanilla in here. I want it to be like, almost like soft serve ice cream vibes. So just mix that in. And then to help cut through some of that sweetness, just about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt is gonna go in. It's not gonna make things taste salty, it's just gonna kind of open your tongue up and let everything taste totally delish. Now, to bring in the almost like air churning that usually churning ice cream does, I've got 2 cups of whipping cream here that I whipped up just until it reaches stiff peaks. And now I'm just gonna add that into this mixture. Since I'm folding something that's really light into something that's on the heavier side, you do wanna start in additions. So start with 1. You wanna add it in about 3 additions. The first one, you don't have to be gentle. Just kind of give it a stir, because that's gonna just lighten up that condensed milk mixture. Beautiful, beautiful. Then we can go in with a little bit more. And then I would do this in probably 2 more additions, but today I'm just gonna go big. I can fold. It's not my first rodeo. Now, to fold, what you wanna do is get your spatula, cut through the center, and basically fold what's on the bottom up and over. Turn your bowl, and just continue doing that until you don't see those streaks of that sweetened condensed milk anymore. This is something that does take just a little bit of time and patience. Don't be rough. You don't wanna knock out all those beautiful air bubbles that you beat into there when you were making that cream. That is looking totally delicious. Once that brownie, that cookie is baked up, you're gonna end up with something that looks like this. It is nice and matte and looking totally beautiful. I removed one of them from the pan, popped a little bit of plastic wrap in the bottom, and stuck one of those cookies down. Then you get that beautiful ice cream base and you just pour it right on top. Now, this is the time if you wanted to use boxed ice cream, you could slice it and just kind of puzzle it together. Then what you wanna do is grab that second little cookie. This is the only tricky part. Flip it out, flip it over, pop it on top. Then you wanna stick that in your freezer just to firm up until it is looking absolutely beautiful. And you end up with the world's most giant ice cream sandwich, which is never a bad thing. So you grab this baby, give it an unwrap, use that plastic wrap to just help lift this out, if you can get it. Oh, there you go. And there's your giant ice cream sandwich, which is a delight. Then all you wanna do is grab a knife and slice off whatever size ice cream sandwich you want. I'm gonna go in with a nice big cut, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I am gonna be feeling cool as a cucumber. That is our show for today. I am feeling so excited about this. We will see you tomorrow for more of the good stuff. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.